Hi everyone, Danny from GDL Automotive again, doing another vehicle review. This time we're looking at the VE Commodore. A lot of what we have to say about the VE applies to a lot of the later Commodores, so pretty much everything from VY, VZ through to the VF, which is the last of what Holden's making of the Commodore range. A lot of people have different theories about why they're no longer doing it. We believe that apart from a lot of the industry problems in Australia with producing cars, we just can't compete with what's going on overseas. The other big issue that's contributed to this is the market, being Australian families, tend to be moving away from heavy fuel guzzling rear wheel drive family cars. Hence why we're seeing an increase in sales in Mazda 3, Volkswagen Golf, although not so much now that they've lied to everybody. But smaller cars like that. So what do we think of these Commodores? They're not an amazing car, they're not horrendous either. They sit somewhere right in the middle. There are quite a few variants you can get. V8, V6, manual, automatic. Even the V6, there's quite a few different engine options that you have. So we'll start talking about the V6. For a V6, they're pretty bad on fuel. Again, they're not horrendous, but if you compare it to a Mazda 3 or any of those other front-wheel drive family type cars, it's really bad on the fuel. Often with these cars, you'll hear us saying, if you've seen our previous reviews, that it runs a timing chain, and that's great because then you don't have to replace the timing belt every 100,000 kilometres. This car's the exception to that rule. The V6 Commodores are known for timing chain problems. So are the Holden Captivas and the Holden Rodeos. It's pretty much the same engine, maybe just some different size variants. They run a combination of 3 timing chains in one engine, and they're known to stretch, and it can be a very expensive repair. We've actually covered this in a previous blog post. So if you're getting a second-hand VE, VF, or anything a little bit earlier than that, down to about a V, when they brought out the Alloy Tech, which I think was the VY, and you've got a check engine light on, be careful of that, because if it's got a stretched timing chain, you're instantly up for 3 or 4 grand to fix it. Other common problems with the V6s, thermostats on the back of the cylinder head, which is ridiculous. Some mechanics pull the gearbox out to replace this, some mechanics pull the inlet manifold off to replace it. Either way, it's expensive. For a $30 replacement part, it's just badly located. What else? They're common for engine mounts, they're common for oil leaks out the front. Holden somehow haven't managed to fix the power steering problems that these cars have with the power steering pumps. This one's actually here today for power steering pump. Yeah, then you've got a few options. I'd advise steering clear of the manuals as a family car. They're an expensive dual mass clutch setup, so when the clutch wears out, that's expensive too. Then you've got the V8 option. Generally, you wouldn't be buying a V8, in my opinion, unless you're going through some sort of midlife crisis, or you're some overweight, pie-eating turkey who loves skids. Buying a V8 as your family car just seems outrageous to me, and many people don't do it. Overall, they're not a bad car. We said this at the start. They're not amazing either. They're bad on the fuel. They're quite big, as you can see, which I guess is good if you're after a bigger car. They look tough. I really do like the look of them. The pump front guards, VE I think is the best shape they ever brought out, but that's down to personal opinion. Overall, I give this probably about a 6 out of 10, mainly because there's a lot of common problems. Particularly in those V6s, just watch out for those timing chains. The V8s, what are they common for? Water pumps, engine mounts as well. V8s generally mechanically are a better car, better engine. You'll pay less in mechanical maintenance, but this will be counteracted by the amount of money you're putting in at the fuel pump. So if you're after a family car, I'd advise probably steer clear of the Commodore. If you're an enthusiast, or you are after a V8 skid machine, they're pretty good. But yeah, as the family run-around vehicle, you'd be better off looking at something made by Mazda, Mitsubishi, or Nissan. I think that'll do.